Welcome to Our Humble Highland Home. Thank you for joining me here today. My grandpa was a very skilled gardener, and amongst the flowers, shrubs and trees that he had the most amazing and fruitful kitchen garden. I've made my own naturally based fertilisers and brews over the years, using things like banana skins, comfrey, nettles and compost. Some to support some root growth, some for leaf and flower growth. However, one of the things that I was reminded of recently was my grandpa's annually made manure tea, which then he used on his tomatoes. So I thought I would give this a go this year. I was very lucky to have been able to go and collect some cow manure from a local farmer. It certainly woke up my sense of smell this morning, but the smell will soon go. And I'm just incredibly grateful that I can get this locally and then use it in our garden. Hindsight's a wonderful thing, but I wish now that I had paid a lot more attention to what my grandpa was doing in the garden when we went on our seasonal visits. Given that this is a new kitchen garden, I'm trying to build the soil so that eventually it will look after itself, just like it's supposed to within nature. I don't want to get caught up in the web of the more you add, the more you need. Like the chemically based fertilisers. The more you need to buy. And this is just not how it works for me. I have purchased a 100-litre slimline water butt, but I'm going to use it to brew the manure tea, or should I say manure beer, given that it will be fermenting, for the garden. But an old barrel would do as well. I use our natural rainwater wherever I can, so I can avoid any chemicals that might have been added. I will fill this up with the rainwater to around about halfway, just to get everything started, and then I'll just keep topping it up. I will also be making smaller quantities of other fertiliser teas in containers like this, or just whatever I have to hand. This is where I will store the manure, and I'll be leaving it to decompose throughout the year. I never used fresh manure in the garden. It just robs nutrients out of the ground while it's decomposing, and it can burn your plants, the leaves and the roots. So make sure that it is fully decomposed before using it in the garden. However, I will be using some for my brew today. I'm using an old cloth bag, and I fill it with a very smelly manure. I could have used an old pillowcase and just use it as a big tea bag. I could just add the manure directly to the water barrel. However, I don't like the idea of the tap getting blocked up with any bits of the manure. So this is what is going to work best for me, I think. So I've tied the handles tight, and now I'm just adding some rope so that I can move it around in the water butt, and I can take the bag out once I'm finished with it. I'll leave this here now just to do its yummy stuff, and gradually I'll add more water, make sure that I've got a plentiful supply for the rest of the year. I'll use this manure tea for any leafy or flowering growing plants, but I wouldn't be using it on root crops, as I want the root crop energy to go into the roots and to the tubers and not so much into the leaf growth. However, my tomatoes are producing lots of green leaves just now, so we'll love a little bit of the well watered down, nutrient rich manure brew. I tend not to follow a strict mixing ratio. I would go by how coloured the manure brew is, but I should imagine it would be round about a 1:5. So 1 part manure brew and 5 parts rainwater. Not too much, but not too little, just enough. I water the base of the tomato plants and avoid getting any of the brew on the leaves, as tomatoes don't like getting their leaves wet and they tend to burn. So thank you for joining me here today. I hope you found this video useful. Chat as always over on Instagram or leave any comments below. Take care of yourselves and others, and I'll see you in the next video.